Hey YouTube fam, it's your girl Leah back again with another video. And today's video, as you can see from the title, is another chit chat video. That's right, I brought it back just one more time. This is literally my last time doing this video. I just had so much fun filming the last one, editing the last one, and I don't know, it feels like I got my natural hair out now. It's a flowing, I don't have crochet hair in, and I really didn't know what to film, so why not do another chit chat video? Again, I think I've been getting questions from people like, Talia, I've been liking the new videos you've been doing, but like, are you not doing crochet hair ever again? You guys know I would make a video if I was making a public departure from crochet hair. No ma'am, I'm just letting my hair breathe, and I honestly am shocked myself that my blowout or silk press has lasted as long as it's lasted. So you guys gonna get some videos from me, and it might not be within my niche, but some of you guys enjoyed my last chit chat video where we talked about, you know, the hot topics, as I like to call them, things that are going down and things that I am enjoying. So that's what today's video is. Now people who this is not your MO, this is not your jam, I'm okay if you skip this video. I'm okay. The last video only did like 1,000, maybe 1,200 views, which is low for me considering how many subscribers I have, but that means at least 1,000 of you guys liked it, and I am here for it. Some of you guys, I got comments like you were having a sad day and it brightened your day, so I'm here if you're again having another sad day, sad week, or overall sad 2020. I hope I bring some joy and laughter to your day with this video. Now I have timestamps down below on the topics that I'm talking about, so if something again is not your jammy jam, that's fine, skip around. I got my wine, aka my Welch's grape juice, because I am clearly a child, but also because it is early morning, it is pre-noon, and I don't want to get into this tea, drinking on something harder than grape juice. I'm just going to drink my grape juice and get into today's topic. I think I'm going to do the same route I did last week, even though both shows were actually really good this past week. Now, as I'm recording this, again, I have to record early because your girl takes time to edit. So it is Saturday before part 2 of the Potomac reunion and also before episode 3 of Housewives of Atlanta. So those two have not aired yet. So everything I'm saying is based off of part 1 of the Potomac reunion, which and episode 2 of Atlanta, which was way better than episode 1. So I'll start with Potomac though, because honey, I'm not going to be like It's Rocks or Ashley Miller, Funky Dineva even, who flow in the range of the episode. They are amazing commenters too on these shows. So if you're looking for a reviewer who does this all the time, I don't know why you wouldn't be watching them. They are awesome. But mine is going to kind of be all over the place. First, I think I'm going to go people by people. Karen looked amazing. Karen's makeup artist is Beatface Honey, who used to be here on YouTube, who I used to watch all the time. I saw her in, the backstage area. Getting Karen together. Her wig guy and her makeup guy are on point. Do not fire them. They have really taking you up a notch. When you was doing that little bowl cut wig that Karen was doing, which was no bueno, we did not need to see that. These people have come through, got her wig game together, snatched her face. We've had some nip and tucks up in here, but other than that, I think Karen looked great. I think her outfit looked great. I'm here for Karen, and Karen's shade was great this first episode as well. So Karen, hats off to you. I know people have been up in the air with the yellow. With the yellow, it's either been like, I hate it or I love it with these women. There's no in the middle. For me, I actually tend to lean on the side of I'm liking the yellow for these ladies. I think a different choice, but I'm liking the yellow. Again, they all did variations of it. I'm so surprised that they can actually get on one accord, especially with the tension that's in this group, that they can be like, we all gonna wear yellow. Like, who came up with the yellow and how did they all get on board? Because if it was Giselle, I'm sure Monique or Karen would have been like, absolutely not tacky Giselle. So it's funny that they got on one page with it, but I don't hate it. I think for the most part, a lot of them look good. So Karen, we didn't dive into nothing Karen really had going on this episode. That first episode, we didn't dive in. I think probably part 2, we'll dive into, whether her shift wigs parties was a setup and all that. But right now, it was more so, high level, looking back at each of the ladies, what they look like throughout the years, which is so funny how much they've changed when they haven't even been around as long as Atlanta. I could see if we were going from like 2010 to now, we were only going 5 years back, and some of these ladies have transformed drastically, which shows the power of seeing yourself on TV and you adjusting as needed. And I think these ladies have done that. So kudos to them. Moving on next to, I think I'll go with Robin. Again, not much on her front. Like, we didn't get into Robin drama, and I don't see how we can get into much of Robin other than her embellished hats thing, which to me isn't a big deal. I honestly, going back to that episode, don't see why they couldn't have chosen Karen's, you know, photo where she was looking down and she had the embellished hat. Like, that photo was fine to me. You're trying to sell the hat, aren't you? So you're showing somebody in a side profile of a hat. Why not go with that? It just didn't make any sense to me. I think Robin, of course, just wanted to be shady on that. But her look with that wig on this reunion, I was not a fan of that wig. I don't know what happened there. I don't know. She typically, to me, is just fine with her short hair. Like, just doing a short hairstyle. We don't expect longness from her. Like, she's been doing a lot this season with the changing of her wigs and her looks this season, and it wasn't good. Like, Robin is the one person who I think from Jump Street kind of had an okay hairstyle. Like, she was just, you know, a short style, really good. I don't know why she did that. She had that wand wig. She showed up to Wendy's event in a crazy wig. Like, she's just been going crazy with these wigs, and it's fine, Robin. Like, you have okay normal hair. You do not have to be like these other ladies and switch it up all the time. You're fine just as you are. Just as you are, Robin. So, yeah, that's Robin. Not much going on this reunion. I don't even see how in any of the other parts you could have a lot going on, but we'll see. Ashley, again, getting the people out of the way who didn't have a lot going on. Ashley did, I guess, have that interaction, so she's a little bit more beefed up. I'll kind of talk about Ashley and Wendy in the same breath, I guess. Ashley looked good, pregnant again, which I'm never going to be, you know, mad at somebody, you know, for creating another life. I think she's an awesome mom, so kudos for her on that, but you know, get out of this Michael situation. Like I said in the last video, girl, just stick around. I don't know how long that prenup is keeping you in for. So, but just stick around and take your children off and just live a better life without all that stress. So, hair looked good. She went through a weird curls dropping, curls being curly again situation. So, I know this was a long day, and you can definitely tell that they edit stuff weird on these shows. It really showed this episode with their hair, and the fact that they couldn't have makeup and hair come out and help them really let me know, okay, this was filmed out of order. And then Wendy, I think, looked great. I think that going back to what I said just 1 second ago about having people come on stage and touch up, I know during that one break when she was like, are we not gonna have makeup people? I think they should have had at least some powder. I mean, us as black women, I think more than any, we kind of get oily sometimes. Lights are shining on, we're sitting there. I think the reunion is filmed over 14, 16 hours. Like, come on now. I know we're COVID, but like, just have one person who just comes out to you and does everything. Like, maybe touches up your curls, and that be your bubble person, because you cannot expect these women not to get sweaty. So no, I don't understand that. Like, you could clearly tell she was getting sweaty. She just needed a good little blot. Just get one of them little things, blah, 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 and she would have been good to go. But the conversation about colorism between Wendy and Ashley, I think Potomac, I think what really got me that very first season was the fact that why are all these ladies light skinned? Like, that first season, it was Katie, it was Ashley, it was Giselle, it was Robin, it was Karen, and then you had Charisse. And it was like, what? Why? I know people from DC. Not everybody looks like this. I know people from these surrounding areas. No. Why? It's not making any sense to me. And it's very stark. I mean, even still, a lot of people say, you know, Candace and Monique, you know, and they're definitely more chocolate, but I think Wendy is the first time we've had somebody, of course, they said, you know, full Nigerian descent on the show, which kudos to her, but also she's probably the deeper complexion that we've ever had. So it's a conversation worth having, and I think the conversation should also be, I don't know if you can bring executive producers in, but what were y'all thinking that very first season? So that's them. I think moving on to Candace had her fan. I don't think this is her big episode. I think it's coming later, but the big episode, of course, was Monique and Giselle, really with Karen as an added two for the boom boom punch. Giselle, woo, she told Wendy at the very beginning of the episode, like, you gotta come before they come for you. Like, you gotta come for them before they come for you. Oh, you came for first, though. What are you supposed to do? Now, Monique had that binder, and I think I said in my last video, Monique is the one who can come later with the receipts. Like I said, I think that's why her and Candace got into those fisticuffs, because she had exhausted all the words she could use. She had to come to blows. Like, hands had to be had at that point. Again, I said in my last chit chat, without having seen the reunion, that she is definitely, I think, the type who will come later, having researched, having sat down, having gotten her ducks in a row with the information, and boy did she come with that binder. I just want to see the binder, because she said she got tabs on everybody, but does that mean she got a tab on like Ashley and Karen, who are more so, I guess, her friends? Like, who all got a tab here? Does Robin have a tab? I'm sure Robin got a tab. I'm sure Candace got a whole section. But I think with Monique's, and I'll get into this like right after the fact, but I think Monique's geared towards Giselle was all surrounding Jamal. It was really Jamal based. So it was really her reading Giselle based off of who she chose as a person, as a mate, as opposed to reading Giselle. That's like somebody reading me, like somebody coming for me, like saying, hey, I'm about to come for Talia, but only focusing on my boyfriend. Like if I choose a trash boyfriend who had a life, had a past, been out here for the streets and all that, being like, oh, Talia's man is trash, Talia's person is trash, but not really coming for me as a person, like not saying anything about me. I think it's different, and I think it's one of the reasons why Jamal had a follow-up. Now, if you guys have not checked out Jamal's whole receipts, he said that Monique bought the receipts, but he's bringing the cash register. So Jamal Bryant had something to say. He had something to say. I watched the entire video. Please check it out. All you have to do is like search YouTube for Jamal Bryant's live. He did like a live, I think, and he basically addressed Monique, which some people were like, he shouldn't have, he should have. I think he shouldn't have for him being a pastor. I think if he had just been a normal person, he definitely should have. I think he 100% should have, because he has, for the most part, been silent about everything that has happened on the show. And two, Monique's reads about Giselle were all about Jamal. It was just a Jamal read. It was more so Giselle having to sit there and take it based on the man she chose. Because if you choose a trash man and you know he trash, all we can do is take it. All we can do is sit there and take it. If they were like, Talia man out here for the streets, Talia's man out here sliding in women's DMs, Talia's man out here is slinging it left and right, Talia's man is trash, that's all a read on my man. Again, it's also a read on my choosing abilities of choosing a man, but it's more so the man who's being read. So the man, if he wants to come out and say, hey, y'all can't say this about me, he's open to. I think it's just weird him being a pastor and doing it, but I guess don't matter the occupation, you are entitled to your clapbacks if needed be. So, what he said, again, I watched the whole video. He said that his girls were daddy's girls 100%. I think the clips will just show that's not the case. I think you can't act that. They're children. They're not actor children. Giselle can be an actress. The children cannot be. So I think especially that middle child who was in that 16-year-old stage, I think what she said was wrong. I think those two youngest ones might be just following after Grace. I think Grace is the one who's a little bit older than the twins. I think they might just follow after the lead, because sometimes I'm the oldest child. I know sometimes my younger siblings would follow after me. If I felt a certain way, if I didn't want to eat something or do something, then we wasn't doing it. But I think so maybe they might have a closer connection, or maybe they just don't have as much knowledge of the past as the older one does. But daddy's girls is a stretch. I think they might love you now, and I think y'all probably had some good conversations, but daddy's girls is probably a stretch. He addressed the girls' receipts that was brought about, not girls, but the women or woman that he was talking to in the past, receipts that Monique brought up. He brought up everything but the fact of, did he tell her that this was a lie? Did he tell her that he was just doing this show for Giselle's storyline? He did not denounce that part. He just said, this woman was this, and this woman was trash, and this woman was trying to get me to read her book and dissertation and all this. But he never said, I didn't say it was fake. He didn't say all that. So that part, I guess he cleared up. And technically, he is a single man. But I think it's so, for me, I had to Google his church after. I guess I've heard New Birth, of course, from Eddie Long in the past, and now him being the pastor. So I've known the New Birth, but I didn't know the size of the congregation. They got a pretty big size congregation. I want to know, if anybody out there who watches me goes to the church, please let me know. I want to know. But me, as a parishioner of a church, I think it'd be really weird to see my pastor do something like this. I think it'd be really weird to see my pastor do something like this. And also, Giselle has said on the show, I think they had that conversation, when was the last time you gave this or did this sexually or did this in the bedroom? And she was like, yeah, I just did that the other day, right before he left, all this. Is he a pastor who preaches against fornication? I'm confused, because if he's like, well, fornication, it happens, child, it happens. If he's that type, then fine, cool. But I think most of these pastors preach against the same thing. They're anti-fornication, anti-homosexuality, they're anti all this. So, what is he? Is he a hypocrite? Is he one of those type, we sin every day, man, we all fall short? But do you fall short that often? Clearly Giselle is out here presenting one thing and you're presenting another thing. Just make it make sense, child. Make it make sense. Jamal, I don't know whether it helped or hurt him. He said he is never going to be on Real Housewives of Potomac ever again, which gonna suck for Gizelle's storyline, because he's only gonna live in her phone, like Karen said. So moving on to the next, I guess, topic, it'll be Atlanta, of course, which brought a little bit more this episode. It was a little bit more than that first episode. You guys know my first recap. I was like, I don't know about it. And I still don't know about it, too, because the ratings have been so bad this season, I guess, comparably. And I know Nene just been, she been, the ratings, Got it. Okay, no, y'all had to do was pay me my money, but okay. This episode, we get introduced to the two new ladies, one being a peach holder, Juicidora, the other being a friend of Latoya. I'm just going to call her to Latoya forever because, of course, that's what she is here on YouTube. Now, was I alone when they introduced that her Latoya scene with her coming over to Kenya's place with Cynthia? I had to pause my TV and go back and make sure I hadn't skipped the episode, because she came out of nowhere. It feels like it was just like her introduction was so abrupt, and it was like thrown on us that I was like, oh my goodness, because Kenya trying to explain, hey, yeah, we met at Candy's party yesterday or last night or last week, whenever Candy's party was. Then they flash back to Candy's party, and at that point I paused and I was like, oh, I missed the episode when it was Candy's party. But no, this was a off-camera party. So her introduction to the group was an off-camera situation, which makes me believe that I think she probably might have been in the running for a peach at first, and they just didn't know whether to give her one or not. And it looks like they went with the or not, but it seems like there was filming scenes beforehand. So clearly there were camera crews at Candy's party. We just never saw it, and maybe the party was just not good enough or didn't bring enough drama to warrant us actually seeing that. So again, her introduction felt like, what? Okay, so this is Latoya. This is how she's getting introduced. There's no background to who she is or what's going on. It's just Candy. I met her at Candy's party yesterday, so now she's my friend. So it said Candy's friend / Kenya's friend. But it was like, to me, I never knew her to be Candy's friend. Is she a friend of Candy's because they're both on YouTube? I don't know. But nonetheless, I think it was intense. Her introduction on this first episode was very intense. I don't know if somebody told her beforehand, you gotta be on 10. We need a character who's on 10. And then she brought it up to about 11 on her energy level. But I'm just gonna wear it out. I'm not gonna say anything. It's the first episode. It was just a lot for Latoya. So I mean, hoping for the best with this situation. And it's really, again, like I said last episode, I felt like her separation from her husband might have been done for this show to give her a storyline or give her some kind of, something to get a peach. And I guess it, again, was not peach worthy, because she also said in this episode she's still living with him. So I was like, they're getting back together. I'm 100% sure soon we called off the separation and all that. So I think it was definitely to help beef up the storyline for her, but she is a friend of, so she doesn't necessarily need a storyline. She's just kind of like a Marlo. We don't know Marlo's storyline other than this new season with her getting custody of them kids. Interesting to see Latoya. Candy didn't have much to do this episode, really. Again, somebody pointing out Candy's in the back now. Candy's in the back, Portia's the one in the middle. They're gonna send Candy all the way to the back if she don't bring something more, because I don't know. Again, like I said, Candy is an OG. She's not original. We don't have any originals anymore. There's nobody who was in part of that very first season anymore. But I still look at Candy as being very early OG of this show. Good enough to kind of stay on. I hate to say it. I hope I don't sound ridiculous, but Candy can probably go unless something big changes. Unless there's another escape, something, I don't know. Candy can go. We saw Riley graduate. Congratulations to Riley. But that was her storyline. She wasn't part of any of the other storylines. I don't think she didn't come to Kenya's, and I don't remember if she came to Cynthia's party. No, she didn't come to Cynthia. So she was really off on her silo. I'm assuming everything must have happened on the same day with Riley's graduation, but come on, Candy, come on. I'm rooting for you, girl. Kenya, going back to Latoya, it's so weird that she warmed up to Latoya so fast when, like the clip showed, she didn't warm up to Kim Fields. She didn't warm up to Eva. She hasn't warmed up to anybody. So why is she so guns a-blazing for Latoya? I don't know if it's like the youthfulness, like being attracted to like somebody young and new and fresh who's going through the same thing, I don't know. I don't get it. It's so of everybody. I mean, Kim Fields was so down to earth and chill and regular. I'm so surprised she couldn't get along with her. And Eva, more or less down to earth. You got a husband, got a kids, got family, all that. why not these women? Why LaToya of all of the people to warm up to on the first week is this happening? So Kenya's storyline, again, she's going to have to bring a little more than this mark. We're going to might have to do a whole revamp, and it might be Drew, LaToya, and 3 other new women. Or Nene, maybe. Phaedra. I don't know who we got to bring back, but yeah, Kenya, not really bringing it. Portia, like I mentioned, is the middle peach holder. She is holding the coveted middle peach. Her storyline was her getting out of, prison or jail, getting out of jail this episode. And it was, reuniting with little PJ and mom and sister alike. Again, not a lot. Middle peach holders are supposed to be the ones, honey, but I guess that's going to come later when we have the Cynthia whodunit thing that's going to happen at the bachelorette party. But I think, again, it addressed Dennis. I think Dennis and her, again, I'm not, you would think I'm pro people breaking up just by watching this show, but it's not. It's just like everybody got a trash mate. I mean, like, these people are just choosing wrong, and I don't know if it's choosing, again, some of these women are upper age, so sometimes we just choose because we have to choose, and we have to get this, biological clock is ticking, so we have to get what we have to get, and I think that's why, things ain't looking great for me, honey, because I don't just choose. I'm not just a chooser for this biological clock. I really have to think about this thing. So Portia, Dennis, no surprise there. I'm over it. Just be done with it. So next up, we got Cynthia, whose main purpose only was this episode to bring on Drew, which I guess she brought on Drew. That was what she did, which I think would have been Eva's role had Eva not been fired. But I think Eva was going to probably be Drew's friend, but because Eva's gone, she had to be Cynthia's friend. And I guess they had to show that one clip of, they love having clips because they're like, oh, we got it. They're going to show Drew being introduced to Cynthia from Eva. So that's going to show that Cynthia and Drew know each other. That's going to be it. Yeah, we did good. That was Cynthia's only role basically this whole episode, to bring on Drew, who I said last episode, I don't know what Drew's bringing. I know she got a husband, blah, 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 blah. We'll see. Oh, I should have watched my words, honey, because we did see. Again, I'm not an advocate for a divorce in normal life, honey. I'm not always out here telling people, you need to divorce him. But again, she needed to divorce him. I was all team him up until the last 10 minutes. It went from, I kept seeing the previews for the last 10 minutes, like, throughout the episode, they said coming up. And I saw that conversation. I was like, where do we go? Is this filmed in the future? No, this is on their anniversary night. This man gaslit her so hard. That is the prime example of gaslighting, is what he was doing at that table. And that's the one thing I cannot stand. It's like, why you gotta know? It's not important where I was. What's it gonna do for you to know where I was? What's it gonna do for you now to know where I was, and the fact that I also was looking at you on the camera from where I was? This is probably why I'm single now, because I could not even. People were like, you have your ups and downs in marriage and you gotta work through it. I got too much stuff on my plate to work through whatever that mess was. I can't. I cannot. You cannot leave me with, I think they have, 3 children? Leave me with 3 children while you're in Tampa? You passed the many a beach to get to Tampa. I'm sorry to say it, but I'm assuming another woman was in Tampa. And yeah, he just looked like the type. He's cute. He's very attractive, but yeah, he's for the streets. He's definitely for the streets. So that is my Housewives wrap up. Let's get into the let's talk about shows now, like other shows, non-Housewives related shows. But backing up, there is a battle going on right now between who's going to get my money in 2021, and I think HBO Max is winning. Because right now, I have them all. I have the HBO Max, I have the Disney Plus, I have the Sling, I have the Hulu, I have the Netflix. You think I cut the cord and I would be done with all the cable? I don't have cable anymore, but I'm paying for like 5 services. I might as well. 2021, some are getting a evaluation. Some are not going to make it. The Peacocks of the world, the free ones, I got them as well. But, some of the paid ones are going to get the boots next year. And I have to say, I'm thinking HBO Max is really keeping my time. So I think HBO Max might be here to stay. They have that Wonder Woman 2 movie coming out on the same day it comes out on theaters, and I don't think it's an added fee, so that is a win. I think that after that, for me, comes Sling. I do like Sling because, of course, that's how I watch The Real Housewives. That's how I watch it in real time as it's happening and all that, and other live TV. So I like Sling. Sling is probably going to stay. Netflix been playing games. Netflix is getting a little boring to me a little bit. It's getting a little boring to me a little bit, you know? It's like I'm waiting around for the next thing. I'm waiting around. I gotta finish The Crown. I still have not gotten through. I'm all the way caught up to season 3, but I'm not watching season 4 till I do a whole watch of everything. I do not know why, but those first 2 seasons with Claire Foy were everything. With Netflix, get it together or you are on the chopping block. Hulu definitely can go. I think Hulu for me, I'm pretty much done with it. I don't know what I keep it for now. I think I watch Shark Tank on there, but I can just watch it later on Sling when it comes on MSNBC. And then Disney Plus. I kept it around because the Marvel shows were coming out. They keep pushing back the date. Like WandaVision was supposed to come out in November. Then it was December. Now it's January. I think they're pushing us back so we don't cancel anything. But I want to watch the Marvel shows just because I think the next round of Marvel movies are going to heavily encompass the shows. So I think it's going to be one of those things like the next Avengers is going to be very much so based on the shows. Like how the last Avengers Endgame was very much so based on you had to watch all the movies. I think the next Avengers round is going to be you have to watch the shows to kind of understand the movies because it's gonna go that way. So I was like, okay, I'll keep it to watch my Marvel shows. But if y'all gotta stop pushing back dates, honey, Disney Plus, give it to us in 2021 or I'll re-enroll once y'all get these things together. But going to my new show, HBO Max, you guys know last time I talked about I watched Cult of Cults, which I think is a good documentary. You guys gotta go check it out. Cult of Cults, it's just 4 episodes. And I guess because I watched Cult of Cults, they recommended another cult show for me because I guess they think I'm obsessed with cults, which I'm totally am so enthralled by cults. Like never joining a cult, but the mindset of people in cults. So it recommended to me The Vow, which is about a sex cult, this is a lot longer of a series. So I'm only on, I think, episode 6 right now, and I think it goes for 3 more. I didn't know it was going to be so long. I thought it was going to be kind of short, like Cult of Cults, but it's so long. The first few episodes are really dragging, or the first few do really drag, and then it kind of gets kind of good. I think the first couple explain to you why it's a cult, because it sounded like it was just a multi-level marketing, I guess, pyramid company before, and then it just was a sex cult, and I was like, how do we go here? So now we're getting to how it got there, but it's a good one. I think I do prefer Cult of Cults, but then I think this is a really good watch as well if you can kind of get past the dragging of the first few episodes of this show. So the next topic, UPS, child. UPS and tracking and your packages. We are a couple days from Christmas as I'm recording this, even shorter days away as I'm dropping this video. But USPS been getting some flack. FedEx, all the tracking systems have been getting flack this year because shipping has gone through the roof. I follow so many small businesses, Black-owned small businesses, who have been every day posting in their stories on IG, look, y'all, it's not me, it's USPS. They said it's coming. Like, I put it in USPS's hands. It's in their hands now. I have nothing I can do. And I know they're probably getting swamped by people like, where's my package? Where's my package? Where's my package? Type of thing. So people need to, one, know where to direct their anger. Now, if they have not dropped it off at the USPS store, or it doesn't even say shipping label created, because that's at least the basic stage, then yeah, it's probably the seller. But if it's shipping label created and USPS accepted, child, something's going wrong, honey. I understand the anger. Now, you guys know I posted videos earlier this month telling y'all, get y'all stuff early. And I didn't know this was going to happen. I didn't know USPS and FedEx and UPS was going to have all these issues, but I be knowing, child. I be knowing. So people are angry. People are frustrated. USPS people are angry and frustrated as well, as they should be, because they are probably working harder than they ever. I get that they are swamped. Y'all gotta do better next year, though. Y'all should have known Rona was gonna hit different this year. Hit different in the sense that people are not going out to stores and buying as much as they used to, meaning they only bought online, meaning y'all procrastinators who bought stuff the 19th thinking it was gonna get here. I don't know what to tell y'all. I know what day Christmas falls every single year. So I finished shopping on Black Friday. I bought a couple of things within the last few days, but it was prom one day. And Amazon is probably the one vendor who I'm in love with right now, because Amazon, They ain't skipped a beat, honey. How y'all out there holding up? Is there a few packages that for y'all ain't gonna make it on the day of? I want to buy some stuff for myself. Like, I got a couple of things on my list, but I don't want to bog down the system. So I'm gonna buy my Christmas wants like later on, probably closer to like January 1, to be honest, just to get rid of all this and get some of my Etsy things, get some things I want from Etsy out of the way after this, just so I'm like, USPS, y'all just calm down. Don't gotta worry about little old Leah packages. I'll worry about them post all this ruckus that's going on. And the last topic I want to talk about is this vaccine. So the vaccine is out, honey. I think it's been out for probably a couple weeks at this point, but it's really out. Like, people can get it. Like, medical healthcare professionals, people can actually get this thing now. Y'all getting it? That's the question I'm posing. Y'all getting it? How y'all feeling? See, how I'm feeling is the thing about this vaccine is it has not been around that, like, literally this whole coronavirus thing popped off January, maybe with our knowledge of it. March really hit home, and now December we got a vaccine. Come on now. Come on, we ain't got no vaccine for nothing else. We ain't got no HIV vaccine. We still can't cure Alzheimer's. We still can't cure cancer. We ain't out here curing Parkinson's disease, but we can get a vaccine for this within a few months. It's just not making sense. It's just not making sense to me. Like, I'm hesitant as somebody who has not bore children yet into anything I put in my body, especially these critical years, my early 30s. I'm always invested. If you guys have ever watched The Handmaid's Tale, I'm always scared that we're going to get to a point soon where we're going to just put stuff in our bodies that's going to one day make it very hard, not impossible, but very hard for a lot of women to conceive. I'm just a conspiracy person like that. Like, we cannot just keep injecting things in us and it's just not going to happen for us. Like, we already, I think October was Miscarriage Awareness Month, and I saw so many women on my timeline just posting about their stories. People who were young 30s, late 20s, who had miscarriages, who were not even just 2 months along. People who had bellies, like Makeup by Denise here on YouTube. She posted about her miscarriage story, and it was like she was just, she was poking. She had a child in there. Chrissy Teigen had, a miscarriage. I just think, and it might just be because I was so hyper focused on it in October, but I just saw so many miscarriage stories that I was just like, my God, this is super scary. Like, this is super, like, I haven't even tried to conceive yet, but now I'm like super scared. Now I'm gonna have a vaccine, which I feel like at some point they're gonna have to give us. Like, I think it's gonna become a requirement to go into restaurants, to travel, to get a passport, to do anything. They're gonna make you show proof that you've had the vaccine. So I think I'm gonna, one way or the other, in 2021, have to get it. I don't think it's gonna be a choice. It's gonna be do I want to walk inside of buildings anymore in the future? So I think they're gonna make us get it. So even people who are like, I'm not gonna get it, there's going to be one thing where you're not going to be able to do this or that. They're going to make you get it. But I'm just so scared that, okay, I haven't had children yet. How does it perform with fertility? I need to know women who got the shot and were they successful, months after having, the shot with fertility. And also, not just fertility, I think I'm scared about spasm. I've heard things about Bell's palsy causing that. I've seen people faint. I've seen so much happen about this that I'm just so skeptical right now. But how are you guys out there feeling about it, y'all? I've seen people, 50-50 on this. I really have. Like, people do polls and I voted like no. And I've seen, like, when you vote on an IG poll, you get to see how the split is, and it's like at least 70-30, like 70 on my no side, but 30, which is a high enough percentage of being like, yeah, I'm gonna get it. I'm definitely gonna get it. So I never got the flu vaccine too, so that might be a part of it too. I've never gotten a flu vaccine, but I've never gotten the flu either. In my 31 years of life, never got the flu vaccine, never gotten a flu. Every story or horror story I hear about people who got the flu, it was like, the one time I got the flu shot, I got the flu, or it was the worst flu I ever had the year I got the flu shot. I'm out here just washing my hands, using my hand sanitizer during flu season, and being aware of my surroundings. And I haven't gotten the flu. Like, I want them to go back to the drawing board, figure it out, give it a little bit more time. Maybe Pfizer. I'm okay with being at home for another, I don't know, a year probably. I'm okay with quarantining for another year to give y'all time to work out the bells and whistles. So again, go back to, like, this first round, let's just call this a test, see what's happening, and then go back to the drawing board if things go awry. So that is kind of how I'm feeling. That's my little chit chat, that's my little ramble. I've done a lot of talking, a lot of chitter chatter. But if you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. Even if you didn't, give it a big thumbs up. I don't know how you make it to the end of a video then decide to give it a thumbs down. It doesn't make any sense to me. Make sure that you are subscribed to my channel. Click that subscribe button. We want you here, part of the family. Make sure that you are following us on Instagram at LeahLevon89 so you can keep up with me and Winnie's shenanigans in real time. And I'll see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.
Tell me what you want to know. I go give you all that more. Bad man, I feel your flow. Wine I'm slow. This one will be private.